Hello and welcome to Level Die Neo, the episode in between episodes. I guess I wasn't going to explain it, but I guess I'm explaining it now. Today we're talking about a fun little thing that I've tried to do in the past, and I have a friend with me, Quinton. Say hello, Quinton.
Hi there.
He is the expert in what we're talking about today. And today we are going to be talking about self imposed challenges. Now, Quentin, explain to us. I mean, self imposed challenges are pretty self explanatory, but why don't you let us know what self imposed challenges are so we can get started?
Oh, wow. I don't know. I'd be giving the broad definition here.
Yeah.
So I guess it could be anything that, you're telling yourself that changes the gameplay to make it either harder or whether it's like a role play thing. Like you're saying, I'm going to be
Shit. I've done.
like a
Fuck. Let me
goofy.
write down some of my Morrowind RPs that I've done.
Right, because sometimes for an RP, you'll have to say, like, oh, I'm going to do a pacifist run. I can't kill anybody
Oh
because it's what
God.
my character would
Oh,
do.
we're gonna be talking about that
Um,
today, hopefully.
and that would be a self-imposed challenge. I think the one most people know is like the Pokemon Nuzlocke.
Oh shit! I've actually done Nuzlocke. Fuck!
Yeah,
I've actually
that
forgotten a
would be
lot about some of the self-imposed challenges that I've done. Tell you, you're bringing them up.
right. I kind of did a refresher course and went through a few that I've known about and looked up some of the write-ups
Let
that
me
I had
Google
wrote
some of
for it.
these because fuck, I totally forgot about Nuzlocke.
Yeah, I would think that's the basis to kind of explain what it is you know the games sometimes are too easy and you need to do something that's a little bit more immersive, a little bit more, um, and then so you kind of create your own rules to put the game into a different kind of gameplay.
Loop, like
Um,
sort of a different loop. Like one of the games that I'm
right,
going to talk about is uh, Dishonored, and you basically just decide to not use like half of the mechanics in the game, and it makes it like really interesting because the game it really tests what a game is capable of. Like, what if you fuck around with just this mechanic? Is it still fun, or is it like
right. The game becomes much less forgiving. Say if you're playing like Thief or Dishonored and you're doing it, trying to play it perfectly, and you're trying to do it to where you're not caught, not fucking getting seen by anybody,
yeah,
restarting when that
Ghost? Fucking,
happens.
I've
It
done Thief Ghost. It's a pain in the dick, dude.
right. It forces you to play in a completely different way than the game was meant to be played.
Or at
It
least then
presents itself
maybe
in a
one
completely
of the
different.
things I like is usually when I do this, it's a different way of playing a game than my brain is usually used to. Like maybe it's not going against the game's programming or the way the game was
Right.
intended, but it's definitely sort of a like my brain never thought to do this before. Why don't I give it a shot?
Right, you're being forced to do something you would never do, like, oh, hey, I'm going to play Skyrim, and this time I'm not going to be a stealth archer. You know,
Is are you even playing Skyrim though if you're not a stealth archer?
it's a self-imposed challenge.
Dude, one of the weirdest things is like before I even knew that that was a meme, like I played my first Skyrim
You
game
played stealth
and
archer.
I was a fucking stealth archer because it was fun as shit. And then like
It's
I
just
look
kind of what you
online and it's
default
just like
to
every
because of the
single
way the
person
game
in the
presents itself.
world is a stealth archer. And I was like, "Oh
Right.
fuck, like this is a real thing. People like beat the game as stealth archers."
It's just the way the gameplay mechanics present themselves. Stealth is such an OP thing to do.
So strong.
Um, you don't really want to play the game anywhere else. So to change that up is sort of a self-imposed
What's
challenge. I have
a
a few um, Bethesda games on my list here that I
Well,
wanted
let's
to
go.
talk
Since
about.
we
Anyways,
we just talked about Skyrim, so what's another self-imposed challenge you've done in a
well, when
death
I
game?
was looking up other people's, there was a guy who wanted to play Oblivion as an NPC. So
Weird.
he went to Anvil and just sort of started gathering alchemy ingredients and wanted to just have a job as an alchemist in Anvil and live peacefully.
Uh huh.
Um, I played Oblivion no kill.
I remember it.
It wasn't a pacifism run because I had to use a lot of paralyze and lead people into guards. So I'd punch them to get them aggroed, and then I would lead them to a guard and have the guard kill them.
Right.
It completely, changed the way I was playing. I guess if I
Weren't
did a
you
pacifism run,
permadeathing that though too? Or
I did
or
permadeath, and that killed my run completely because I got
Mhm.
killed by a cougar.
Yeah, I remember you were in
Um,
a cave, and you were like having just like the hardest fucking time ever or something.
well,
And then
my
like,
plan was, to get a lot of mage skills. I knew I didn't have to kill anybody through the mage story quest, at least to get to, where I could make my own spells. And I
right.
can make just a badass paralyzed spell, be good to go for the whole game. So doing the Mages Guild, quest for each one in each town, there's one where you have to kill a bunch of zombies in a cave.
Oh
So
God, I fucking remember we were living together at that moment, and I
would
just came into
punch
your room
like
and just watched you run around like throwing light on fucking zombies, dude. It was
yeah, so
so
light
stupid.
would aggro them without punching them. So I just throw light and then run out of the cave. And they'd follow me all the way back to the town,
Oh,
and then I would have guards slay the zombie. Then I'd go back to the cave.
so
That was probably the hardest one.
stupid,
But
dude.
that didn't end the run. I just got randomly killed by a cougar because I was so high level that animals started spawning to kill me.
That's fucking awesome. That is fucking awesome. Oh God, did you ever do any self-imposed Skyrim ones or Morrowind ones?
No, I played a lot of Morrowind, but it was just trying to fucking figure it out, and just a lot of that game was just spent me figuring it out.
I played a run of Morrowind being a lay servant, which is basically like you basically pick flowers.
Okay, yeah,
Like,
you
all
told me
over
about
Morrowind. Like there's a whole guild for being that. Like, and I would just this was back when I fucking smoked weed, and I would just literally just get high as fuck and like walk around Morrowind and like pick flowers and shit. Yeah, it was awesome, dude. It was awesome. It was a great time. Like I didn't get any, I had to kill stuff, but like that's just it was like little like those like that little monster in the beginning that paralyzes your ass and just totally wrecks you the first time you play Morrowind.
Mm-hmm.
That little fucking bug bastard. It was basically just like that, but just ran around picking flowers. I really enjoyed that, and the fact that like Morrowind is huge, dude. Like people are obsessed with Morrowind because it's so fucking ginormous. Like it's like one of the best RPGs ever made, in my opinion.
Right.
And like the fact that there is an entire guild and set of side quests based around like just being a flower picking dude, like that's some shit that I'm talking about. Like that's the good stuff.
It's certainly the RPG of RPGs, where it's like D&D, where you want to decide to do what you want, you do it.
God damn, I love D&D. I fucking love D&D.
And especially because everything's a fucking dice roll in that game.
It is. It's based off of your skills. It takes some getting used to, but I think it's a really good combat system because like it depends on like enemy armor, enemy speed, your stamina, your skills. Like it's really thought out. But like people complain because it's not like a non-stop action thrill ride like Skyrim is.
Could you do this? Is the other self-imposed challenge that a lot of Bethesda games allow you to do just off the bat. Could you complete it no kill?
No, you have to kill the heart.
Okay.
I think
So
you can.
minus
I think
that,
you can.
you
I
think you
think
could get through the whole game.
I think you can. I don't think you have to kill Dagoth if you choose the right dialogue options. I think you don't have to kill him. I'm pretty sure. I think you can just talk your way through it. I think. I don't know. I've never beaten Morrowind. I always just dick off.
Yep, same.
I get like the scrolls right in the beginning and just jump to the other side of the map.
I know the Fallout games are pretty notorious for you can just talk your way through it.
Oh shit, dude! Fuck,
Intelligence
dude,
being such a
you're
big
reminding me
stat.
of a lot of games that I totally forgot about. So
Well,
let's
that
talk
brings
about,
up the question whether or not something that you get an achievement for, or something that's in the game already, is that a self-imposed challenge or not?
like, what do you mean?
Like I had written down the gnome in Half-Life 2 Episode 2 and Left 4 Dead 2.
I would say that's
where you
a
get-
challenge that you take on for sure. You don't have to do it.
But it's part of the game where
Right.
you get an achievement for it.
I don't
there's
think there
something
was
you get as a
originally like
reward.
there wasn't like
Is
an
that
originally
really
an achievement
self-imposed?
for it, though. Yeah. Well,
That's the question I'm proposing.
I would say it is because I don't give a fuck about achievements. So if I
Right.
decided, and if it's basically like you and a team have to decide to do that. So I would say that's a challenge. You impose it on you and your team, and you complete it. So I would say it's
Okay.
I would say it's a self-imposed challenge. I mean, is it going for an achievement?
Right.
Yes.
That might have been how the achievement came that dev team was like, let's see if we can fucking do this.
Yeah, or like it's like getting like the 56,389 kills in like Dead Rising. It's like
Right.
it's like saving all of the people in Dead Rising. So
That's what another thing I had is there's a lot of games where AI that you can save that you don't necessarily have to. A lot of people are like, I'm going to save every fucking one of these people.
Yeah.
That's a self-imposed challenge as well.
Like, I mean, there's an achievement for it for Dead Rising is save every single person, and that's fucking hard as shit. I would never be able to do that trash, dude. Not with the fucking way the AI works in that game. Fuck
not the way they act, and not the way they're fucking.
Fuck no. So we were just talking about. You brought up Fallout. I remember one of the challenges I did was melee only Fallout New Vegas. And it is fists. It was tough. Fists only.
Fist, butcher knife to lead pipe.
Oh my god!
Wait until you can get a power fist.
Oh my god, dude, that was so much fun because if you max out your strength and like your speed and shit, you're just like running around exploding people's heads by punching them. I remember
that's another thing. I would never play melee otherwise until I was like, let's do a melee only run of this.
Right.
That's not something I would do originally.
God, oh, that was so much fun. I remember like the first level you get to, the one with like the roller coaster and the casino. What's that place called?
Nipton.
What is it?
Nipton, I think.
Nipton? Maybe.
The one with the casino.
It has a casino, but it also has those NCR guards outside, and then it's got like you can get Evie or Eva there, the robot, the flying iRobot. But I remember there was this dude taking pop shots at me from fucking from on that roller coaster, and I had to run up on that fucking roller coaster and punch his ass in the head. It was fucking awesome, dude. It was so great, and I basically beat the game doing it. I got bored. I get bored doing like one thing for like a long time. So I got bored doing punching only.
I'm trying to fucking remember the name, but Nipton's the one that gets wrecked originally by Caesar's Legion.
Oh, man.
I
won the lottery. I won the lottery. It was the lottery.
Yeah, that's Nipton. Yeah.
The game that I did beat, and I stuck true to it, and had a great time doing it.
Prim is the one.
Prim.
Slim is
Prim.
The robot.
Yeah, the robot little sheriff guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you get to pick who takes over Prim. That was like the side quest for.
Well, that's a quest to try to find.
You're cutting out pretty bad. Wait.
Well, that's a quest to try to find out, who can be sheriff, and there's a few different selections.
You got the guy who's like a drunkard, you got the robot who only believes in true-ass law, and then you got like the commie NCRs or whatever.
Right, you can have the army just take over the whole town.
Yeah, the military, yeah. One of the games that I played that I loved, and I beat, and I did the imposed challenge, and I had a great time doing it, was Dishonored, no magic, kill everyone I meet. That was my challenge. It's a weird challenge. So if I didn't, it wasn't kill everyone in the map. It was if I saw
encounter.
If I saw a human enemy or a civilian or anyone, I had to kill them, and I couldn't use any magic whatsoever.
That means the double jump. That means blink. That means everything. So I used a knife, a gun, and I bought equipment. So there's a bunch of equipment you can buy in the game, and I bought some of that.
So like a Jack the Ripper kind of run.
It was literally, I called it the Corvo the Ripper run. Yeah.
Okay.
It was fucking fun as shit, dude. It was so fun to try and beat that whole game without magic and killing everyone. So it was a challenge because I had to kill everybody. I was in combat a lot. And so, like, every level, I'd get killed by an enemy, and then I'd be like, okay, so I got to kill these two guys, run over here, get into combat, blow that guy up. I had to, like, think on my feet a lot because you can't stealth everyone in the game, in my opinion, without a little bit of magic. So I'm running around, throwing grenades on people, jumping off of shit, getting, like, those drop kills, which are like make you invincible.
Super hard to be stealthy without blinking.
Right. Well, yeah, because I had to like literally like sneak around, and then I couldn't get like I could get like the walk silently, but I couldn't get the double jump. So I had to like go longer ways, and I had to. It was a challenge. Jesus Christ! Can you hear those dogs barking?
Yeah, when you
Oh,
were quiet. Yeah.
God damn. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ. That is horrible. Let me just. I'll be right back. Hold on. You just. Welcome to Level Die Neo. Let me fucking. I'll be right back.
Hi. Welcome to Quinton Alone Time. I want to tell you about what's in my ears. I'm going to clean my ears out, and then I'm going to show you all the wax in my ears. And we're going to make a candle, and then we're going to burn the earwax candle. It's a bitch. I really don't know what to say. I was trying to gross you guys out with Quinton Alone Time. Hey. How you doing? Doing alright? I think Nick's gonna kill those dogs. Snap their necks. You guys like Jello? I like Jello. It's pretty tasty.
All right. We'll just edit out fucking 3 minutes of this trash. Good lord. Let me write down some time codes, because good God. Can't do anything against that, dude. That dog is retarded. Oh, God. And like 3 minutes before it? Who knows?
You'll probably just have to listen to it later.
Yeah, I'm going to listen to it and I'll fucking edit it. So, it was really interesting to play through Dishonored in that way. And that was one of the, I've done self-imposed challenges before, but I would say that was probably my favorite one.
Okay, yeah, my favorite was probably the Red Faction one. Where
Yeah, break it down for us, homie. Break it down.
No explosives, Red Faction Guerrilla was probably my favorite self-imposed challenge, just because of how much explosives are like a core concept in that game. How everything's, a destructible environment, and so much of the story is go here, destroy this entire place, and then leave.
Right.
A lot of it came down to heavy gunplay, just to make it toned down enough to where it's quiet and I can use my hammer to bring down the building I'm supposed to bring.
Now, could you use guns?
Yeah, that's what I did. I only used guns and my hammer.
And could you use explosive barrels that were already in the game?
Explosive barrels that were there, I didn't ever grab them, but I would shoot them.
Okay.
And I used a lot of cars and, getting my car hit enough to where it became an explosive.
Nice. Did you beat the game?
No. I was doing that permadeath as well.
Oh.
And I blew myself up on that one on accident. I didn't. The fuel tanks that blow up and give you scrap, I ran into with a truck.
And it was just game over.
It was game over there.
Oh,
but
God.
I had gone far enough to where I was like, I can't permadeath this. I'm just going to quit.
So permadeath is a really, really hard challenge. And some games are just, they're not designed for you to not die ever.
Right. I think that's one of the ones that change the gameplay the most, make you think about what you're going to do next, make you actually worried about what's going to happen. Is, if I die, I'm going to delete my save.
Right. So I took on a permadeath challenge that I was hoping was going to be just the coolest, most fun thing. And I mean, maybe I'll try it again someday, but not anytime soon, because I'm still hurting from it like 4 years later. So I wanted to permadeath all 3 Mass Effect games.
Okay.
And because you can import your save and you can be the same hero game to game to game, and they reward you for doing it, I thought that within the lore of the game, it would make sense if I permadeath Mass Effect. And I really gave it a shot. Okay, so I boot up Mass Effect 1. I'm fucking in it. I'm ready to go. You do the tutorial. Easy, no problem. It's like that's on like a planet, and there's some like robots and shit, and you shoot them. And it's no big deal.
All right, first time you see the Geth.
Yeah. But then you're on this like spaceport, and you have to go investigate this gang, right? And you have to go kill this gang leader, and he's got a bunch of lackeys with him. Dude,
right, at the alien strip club is what you're talking about?
I think it's the alien strip club. Yeah, dude, I took a biotic to the face in the first 5 seconds of the fight.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say that must have been impossible because the only Mass Effect I've played is Mass Effect 1, and there was a lot of garbage bullshit ways I died, like flipping the Mako and just killing me right there.
God, dude, it was BS. I mean, like, holy shit, dude, like. I got into cover. I slipped out to like take a shot. Just took a biotic right to the dome, and it was just game dun 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 bow 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 bow, and it just turned black and white. And I was just like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I just shut it off. I was just like, "Well, that's it." And then I was talking to Mike because Mike's our Mass Effect expert. And, like, the combat only gets good in 2. Like, the first game is literally more like a talking soap opera type thing. But
yeah, you have Vanguard as a combat ability, but, like, after that, it's not much to choose from.
Yeah. So, 1 is more about talking and shit. But, like, in 2, they took examples from Gears. And they were like, okay, we're going to make it a third-person shooter cover-based with, like, abilities and shit. It's going to be rad. And that really helped improve the game. But 1 is just, it's super hard to get through permadeath because you will get one hit killed from biotics if you're not careful.
Yep. There's a lot of games that are, you're just meant to die. That's why they're so forgiving about spawn points and, keeping all your shit when you die is because it's going to happen.
Right. Like I did permadeath Far Cry 2. On hard difficulty with the mod that makes it harder, the mod that gives you realistic bullet damage on enemies and yourself. Immersion. Yeah. It was fucking rad, and I got like halfway through, but like some of the mod stuff wasn't working correctly, and then I died, and then I was like, all right, well, I gave it a shot, and I had a great time, but I'm gonna stop there basically. But I had a great time doing it. I mean, Far Cry is a game built for self-imposed challenges, in my opinion, because it is one of those open world games, but you have a very clear objective of what you need to do. It's basically capture all the points in the area, and then you move on with the story. So we can talk about Far Cry 3. I've played a ton of Far Cry 3. Like, Far Cry 3...
I started Far Cry 3 and then played pretty much everything after that except Primal and then New Dawn, the newest one.
I heard New Dawn is kind of shitty.
Yeah, I did too. That's why I'm just watching streams of it.
So what is it? Is it like a full game? I thought they had a bunch of DLC planned for Far Cry 4.
It's a full game, and it's the direct sequel to Far Cry 5, yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
It didn't get any press at all. It didn't get any press at all. It just came out.
Yeah.
Weird.
That's something we can fucking talk about another time, though.
That's
all
weird.
That bullshit.
That's weird. Well, Far Cry 3, if you really look at it, so it kind of had that Assassin's Creed feel. Ubisoft was kind of the king of the world for a little while. When Assassin's Creed 2 and like Far Cry 3 came out, like they were kind of like the baddest people in the fucking universe. And Far Cry 3 literally is a game that has defined every other open world game since. It, like, even if you don't want to think that it has, it absolutely 100% has. Because of the way that they set the game up, where they were like, hey, here's like a checkpoint or whatever. What do they call them? Like enemy bases or whatever.
The outposts.
Outposts, that's the right word. It was like they put 50 outposts in the map, and you could tackle them.
Get them when you want to get them. Yep.
and you could just leave them alone, or you could go in and stealth them, or you could go in and you could guns blaze them, or you could sit at the top of a fucking mountain and just snipe every single person in the fucking camp, and do it that way. And it was like this thing that hooked everyone. It hooked me too. I mean, it was just this cathartic thing that had never happened before Far Cry 3. Like Far Cry 2 was open world, but it was extremely limited because like enemies would always respawn. They had pinpoint accuracy, and you kind of felt defenseless against some of the enemies in the game because like it was just bad. It was just wasn't as good as Far Cry 3. Like Far Cry 3 took everything Far Cry did and made it better. And so when Far Cry 3 came out, it was just about killing, man, and you just got better and better at killing, and it just became more and more fun to killing
and skinning animals.
Dude, it was dope. The gameplay loop for that game was fantastic. Yeah. But one of the things they introduced to you in the very beginning of that game is that you have this camera because you're playing as Jason Brody. I cannot believe I still remember that fucking dude's name. And you're a tourist.
The bro tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all his fucking friends going on a bro tour.
The ultimate bro tour. Yeah, with his girlfriend and shit. And you get this camera. And what you can do is it's basically your binoculars. And you use this camera. And you can literally just tag. And I mean tag by if you look at an enemy and you press a button, a fucking symbol will appear over their head. And you can just track them through walls.
Yeah, not just the symbol. Like when they go through
silhouetted.
walls,
it's silhouetted.
It show the silhouette around them completely, so you know where they are. You could literally, if you wanted to, if they're tagged, shoot them through the wall.
Yeah. So they introduced that, and I was like, well, this is the most horse trash thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So I played Far Cry 3 without using the camera at all. And it was super fun because you would have to redo outposts all the fucking time. All the time. Over and over and over again. Because you couldn't just sit up at the top of a mountain, tag everyone, and then stealth kill everybody. You had to go in using your guts, using your brain, and you had to fucking try and eliminate every member. And I'd get it to like where like there's like one guy left, and I'm like, what the fuck? Where is this guy at? And I'm just like running around trying to find this last guy, and he's just like, oh my god, there are bodies. And I was just like looking around, like looking at bodies and shit. I'm just like, and I beat the whole game, the entire game doing that. And it's a small.
Well, that was
what?
That was a whole mechanic that I didn't even bother with, was moving bodies. It allowed you to pick up and move bodies so they weren't detected.
Yeah.
But it was so fucking easy. I never had to do that ever.
No.
But I guess if I, didn't tag all the enemies and know where they were at all times, that's something I would actually bother with.
One of the things that it really made you think about too was you had to upgrade. Like there was an upgrade for stab an enemy from behind and then drag them, and then you could drag them, and then you could use their gun to kill another enemy or use a knife to kill another enemy, and that was really cool. Like that, honestly, that game has some of the most fun stealth killing mechanics ever.
Yeah,
because
I think 3 introduced those, and it kept them through the rest of the game.
Yes, absolutely, because they were just so much fun. And, I mean, if the fact that you could get a guy from behind and then shoot 2 people and then, get into a gunfight, it was awesome. It was totally awesome, dude. Or, pull the grenade and, kick him forward or some shit. It was fucking dynamite, dude. I had a great time in Far Cry 3. But I beat the whole game without the camera. And what it changed fundamentally was you had to be more thoughtful throughout the entire game. Because you couldn't just sit, tag everyone, and then just walk through knowing that no one was going to see you. You had to sit in bushes and wait, like a true stealth game. You had to sit and wait for enemies, so you could see them and go, okay, he's going to go left. So if I sneak by him, I can backstab him, knife the dude in front of him, drag both their bodies, go kill the dude that's over in the house or whatever. It was great. It really was one of those small changes you can make in a self-imposed challenge that really improves your gameplay experience. Doesn't just make it more difficult, but makes you more immersed. I think one of the big things is
using your brain more. That's something you're bringing up that I'm thinking about. I think a lot of AAA titles that come out, they're meant for, the masses. They'll have a playtester that had trouble with a certain part, and they're like, take that fucking out. We don't need that part.
Right.
And so they kind of just become this sort of mind-numbing experience you're just playing through. So when you create a self-imposed challenge, it forces you to actually think about what you're doing, think about what's going to happen next in the story, you know, actually plan your movements.
Right, like we talked about the Nuzlocke right when we started this. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon games have been the same since fucking 1996. I think that's when Pokemon
Right,
came out.
they're easy enough to where if your party's 3 levels above the gym, you won't even have to use items or anything. You just clear it.
So the fact that someone invented the idea of the Nuzlocke, which is an insane challenge that I don't even want to try to begin describing, it's really fun and it's so hard. It's so heartbreaking too. So one of the mechanics of Nuzlocke, I'm going to get into it because Nuzlocke is really interesting. It's one of the most popular. I literally just looked up on my phone self-imposed challenges, and the first thing that comes up on the internet
Would be
is Nuzlocke.
Nuzlocke, yeah.
So Nuzlocke, what it is it's a Pokemon run where you can only capture the first creature that you meet in an area. So if you meet a Weedle in Trail 110, I think that's a real trail in fucking Pokemon.
Probably, yeah.
105 or some shit. If the first creature you meet is a fucking Weedle, you have the option to capture that Weedle or not capture any more Pokemon for the entire trail. And that's like really hard. So if you're trying to build your party up, like it's pretty tough because you kind of got to pick up like Bidoofs and you got to pick up Weedles and shit. And it's kind of a pain in the dick. But one of the other things that is important, it's one of the most important things with Nuzlocke, is you have to individually name every single Pokemon that you capture. You have to give them their own unique name. And that becomes important when I talk about this next mechanic, which is if the Pokemon die, they're dead for good. So if they lose all of their HP in a fight, in a gym, in a random battle, you literally have to go into your box and delete them. It's brutal. You've never been so like it feels like you're Ash Ketchum. Like it feels like you have this attachment to Pikachu, because you literally name them, fall in love with the moments in their life. I think I had a Mankey that didn't survive its first fight, and I was like, you're an asshole, and I just I just deleted it. I was like, thanks for being just a waste of my time. And it's just this you really they last with you because if they get knocked out, you have to delete them, and they just go away forever. And it's like they honestly just died, and it's such a weird thing because Pokemon is supposed to be this sort of relaxing game for children, and when you start playing Nuzlocke, it is literally like this heartbreaking journey to become the number one.
It makes you care a lot more, yeah.
Yeah, and since you can only capture a limited amount of Pokemon, and you can't just go around capturing every Pokemon in every area, you really become attached to the ones that you have to train up, and you got to be more careful. You got to oh shit, he's one hit away, I got to run away. I can't get the level today. I got to go and I got to heal up, and then if you get locked into a fucking trainer fight, and you get your whole party dead, you're done, dude. You got to delete the game. Or if you've got fucking Pokemon in the computer, you got to delete all the ones that were in your party and then grab out the ones that you don't use. It's brutal. It was a trip. Did you ever do a Nuzlocke?
No, I didn't really do too many Pokemon challenges or anything like that. I play a lot of Ruby and Sapphire.
I think I did this on Fire Red or Platinum or something, Leaf Green.
I did do a one Pokemon challenge on Sapphire. I tried to take a Mudkip through the whole game.
Does it work?
But
Can you do that?
Well, yeah, that just became level up my Mudkip 10 levels above the gym.
Oh yeah.
And then I can do it. It just became a grind. So that was a self-imposed challenge that didn't make anything more fun or more engaging at all. It just made it, tedious.
Right. So what other main self-imposed challenges have you done? Because I've literally run down my list. So It's all you from
Um,
now, dog.
yeah, I have like a little bullshit ones like Fable 2 as a tax master landlord, where if I wanted a property, I'd befriend them and then like lead them out into an alley and kill them, take their property.
It's
And I was just
horrible.
like I was just a terrible landlord who would tax properties, 150.
100%.
Yeah. Um,
Dude, are we gonna fucking spoilers for another episode? Are we gonna record Fable 2 as a main episode soon?
I mean, yeah, I could talk about Fable 2 a lot. As long as I'm not talking about any of the other ones besides, the tie-ins to the first game, because I played Fable Lost Chapters and I played Fable 2. Fable 2 I've played like 4 times though.
Same. I've played Fable 2 a lot. All right. Well,
Just
I'm gonna
read. Go ahead.
let me write that down because we're definitely because I've been wanting to do Fable 2, and since I've got you for a Neo, the audience, the 15 people that listen to this, they now know your voice, and if they like you, they're gonna want to hear you talk about Fable. So we'll talk about Fable.
Oh, good. Get real specific instead of having a lot to talk about.
Well, the thing is like so. I have only ever done like you listen to my MGS4 one today. I'm doing specific games and that's it. I don't want to talk about whole.
You don't want to make it too broad.
No, I don't want to make it too broad because sorry, but that limits my content. So I want to make sure that I do, knock them down like one at a time type things. So.
Yeah, so these mini-sodes are probably easy for you. Just talk about what the fuck ever you want.
Right, so that's why I wanted to make this. Like, if we ended right now, that's fine because it's not a major episode. It's not supposed to be. I mean, the one that I recorded with Nick and Mike last night was an hour and a half long, which is just about as long as a fucking normal episode. Like literally, like it might even be longer than the one I did with Maddie, like the night before. But I never intend these Neos to be very long. It's just a way for me to have content every week.
Right.
So they're not about a specific game. They're more about like a broad topic or just anything we want to talk about or like a game or a series of games that like I don't think I could talk like a whole hour and a half about. So.
Yeah, you're talking about Nuzlocke and caring more about the AI in the game and things like that.
Right.
If you're trying to play something where you're like, it gives you this thing that can die, and you're just like, I'm gonna take this all the way through.
Tamagotchi.
That's not one. Well, I've played like some Tamagotchi games, but I think that's the point. I think that's the point of Tamagotchi.
That is the whole point of Tamagotchi.
I don't think that's
don't
really
let it die.
I don't think that's a self-imposed challenge.
Well, I think a lot of people let their Tamagotchis die, dude. So it's kind of a self-imposed challenge. Don't let it die ever. No, what were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say that anything that makes you do that and you decide that you're gonna keep it through the whole way, like I'm gonna actually care about this. It changes the way you play the game. Now you're caring about another individual more than your own character.
Right. Like
and that changes up your play style. Like you're playing a lot more passively. You're trying to
smarter.
be careful about.
I wouldn't even say
you're playing
passively.
smarter.
It's just like it's more strategic.
Right, changing who you engage with.
Like can I?
I'm trying to think of anything like that. Like
I don't think there's any real game like that. Like the Nuzlocke Pokemon is really in its own league of what it makes you feel. So like in Fallout New Vegas, your companions can die. That's like something that can happen. But I've never really felt super attached to like any of the NPCs in Fallout New Vegas. But when I played fucking Nuzlocke, it was this sort of like I was taking care of a bunch of like my tiny little babies, and like I didn't want my little babies to die because like you get them at level 5 or whatever, and then you have to like raise them up to make them strong, and you take care of them and you protect them, and it's this really weird thing that like I've never experienced in another game, and Nuzlocke really makes Pokemon enjoyable. I don't play Pokemon anymore because it's just the same game like 600 times. I just can't do it anymore. But playing like Nuzlocke of whatever version I played was just, it was an absolute trip. It was a great time.
Yeah, it's definitely the way to play Pokemon if you're tired of the monotonous grind fest that it is.
Are there any self-imposed challenges for like Harvest Moon or like Stardew Valley or Graveyard Keeper
Um,
or
well, Stardew Valley, like when I learned you could just say fuck the community center and just buy everything, I started playing as like a farming tycoon instead of a happy-go-lucky farmer. I started doing max profit, fuck everybody in the town, no friends, no
oh my
fight.
god,
Uh, just growing the only thing that's the most profitable for that season.
Jesus
I didn't do any
Christ.
animals, and I didn't decorate anything, just tried to maximize profit. But some people play that game just that way all the time. That's not really, I don't think that's a
Right.
self-imposed
No, I
challenge
mean,
too
because I mean,
much.
why wouldn't you want to make the most money every time, right?
Right. So when I do play that game normally, I'm trying to role play as a farmer and actually,
See,
decorate and
so
make things look nice, have
what
paths.
what we've talked about is role play as a big part in self-imposed challenges. Why?
Right.
Why
That's
do you think
another.
that is? I mean, it's just because you wanna. I mean, it's just like it's about getting immersed in a game on like that you've done before. Is that why
I
you
mean, I've
do
never really
it?
started a game and role played it unless it was something I've known before. That's something you
Right.
brought up that I didn't really think about is, the games that I've done that is something I was already familiar with.
Like
Like if I want to
Skyrim
role play,
or
if I want to
Oblivion.
role play a killer in New Vegas or anything like that.
Right.
It's something I was already familiar with and knew when was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you know some of the events, kind of the flow of the story, so you're able to sort
Right,
of
so it was
play it a
easier
different
to do
way.
that. But it really is the best role playing tool is because like personally there are things that my character in real life, just my personal character, I won't do like I'm a pretty polite person, so if I try to self-impose and play the game like that, um,
Or do the opposite and play it Renegade and Mass Effect and
or
just
play
do all the
renegade
dick options.
where I'm going to pick all the dick options, right? Where if I'm, choosing to only do a certain thing and not play to have fun,
Not play to have fun. That's
right?
funny as
Play
fuck.
to
Like play to do it. Play to make your brain feel weird, not to actually just play for fun.
not to play for fun,
That's
right?
so
Play to
weird.
feel
That's such
like
a weird
I'm
idea.
a different character. Like play to feel like I'm in the story.
So immersions.
It's a real helpful immersion tool. Is to self-impose like a no kill or a kill all. Um,
For sure. I definitely felt like when I was playing Dishonored that I was
it's
actively
it's
thinking like,
setting-
oh man, I'm gonna kill that guy. Like it was just like
it's
really,
setting your alignment chart in D&D is what it is.
I can see
You're saying
that.
my character
Yeah.
would do this and he wouldn't do this,
Right.
and that's how my character would do it.
God, is Dungeons and Dragons the greatest game ever made?
It's pretty good as far as like role-playing games go. I don't think anything on par.
Yeah, I would agree.
As far as allowing you to play it how you want. That's like the true self-imposed challenge. Is I want to play it exactly like this, and you're just gonna have to tell me how things roll out.
Say hello to my wife, Quinton. She's
Hi,
coming
Jess.
into the recording room, which is just our bedroom. Fuck yes. I have to edit this podcast out for me fucking running after those dogs, so shit happens. Dude, there's a half pie with my name on it.
So, right after this, I'm fucking eating pie.
I mean, it sounds like we're wrapping up anyways. I don't have much to talk about.
No, I mean neither. It sounds like covered just
Shout
about
out to fucking Anthony Birch running the No Wrong Way to Play Tumblr for as long as you did.
He did Far Cry. I remember I watched that video. He was streaming Dishonored, and he wanted to do permadeath. And in the first fight of the game, 3 minutes in, he got knocked off of a ledge, and it was just over.
Yeah, he really liked Far Cry, and he really liked Dishonored. Haven't seen too much streaming from him, but
Dude,
as
he
far
might
as
be dead, honestly.
self-imposed challenges, he was the one that really I had been doing them before, but not really given them a name or anything like that. He's the one who introduced me to the fact that this is a whole new world of gaming that people do.
Dude, there was a guy that wrote a fucking book about his experience permadeathing Far Cry 2.
I think I saw that one.
You can read that shit
He definitely
online.
mentioned it on No Wrong Way to Play. He definitely mentioned it.
I remember looking it up because I was looking up permadeath Far Cry 2, and this dude wrote like a novella about his experience permadeathing it. Dynamite. It was fucking dynamite. Well, if that's it, if there's no other challenges you want to talk about, I seriously have not figured out a way to close these fucking podcasts out yet. So they kind of they end like a gunshot in the night.
Just a fucking train wreck.
Fuck yeah, dude. They end like there's a line of cows. There's a line of cows on the tracks, and the train just can't stop.
We've been thudding those cows for now. Thud, 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 just slowing the train down.
No, I'm always just like, I always just go, all right, guys, is that it? And I'm just ending it. Like, I don't have like a catchy way to end these yet, because this is episode. I'm gonna upload
that's all, folks, without getting sued.
That's that's all, folks. No, and here comes the fucking C&D, dude. The C&D is coming. I made a reference to fucking Porky Pig, and I'm definitely getting C&D'd.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, this was great. Quinton, thank you for coming on. I would love to have you on again. Hopefully the next episode we see you in is Fable 2. Spoilers for a potential episode, but I'm going to let you guys know right now, if you guys ever make it to the end, that is not what the next main episode is going to be. I'm already working on it. And it's going to be with a female that's been on the podcast before. So we both decided that the game we were going to do is the specific game we're coming out with next week. Or not next week. I mean, next week now that I'm recording it, but not next week when I upload it. So, boy, isn't that confusing. So, good for them. Maybe I'll upload this week and just fuck the Nick and Mike one. Oh, well, 45 minutes? That's fucking dynamite. I'm going to have to put this into the editor. I have to get a new editor. Isn't, like, Audacity a good editor? Is that a...
I thought that was just, like, Mike shit.
Is it? I know Nick fucking...
I had pirated Premiere for the only shit I used.
Because I was using...
Hope the podcast is over by now because admitting to crimes.
Oh, well, I'm still recording. So I was using WavePad for my first 2 episodes. And then they literally were just like, hey, pay for it now. You can't use it. You can't use it anymore. Like, no more editing. Like, you can't save. Please. You can't save any of your projects. So, like, there's no point in having it anymore. So I'm trying to find a free one, and I know Nick suggested one, so I'm going to have to look it up. Because I got to delete that 5 minutes.
If you're just doing podcast audio, I think Audacity will do it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is just going to be audio. It records as an FLV, but... I can just throw it into Audacity. I don't know, FLV to MP3 or something.
You gotta make sure to cut out all this bullshit of us just talking about.
Nah, dude, fuck that. Dude, this is what I'm talking about. This is what Level Die Neo is. Like, if you want to get to the end, like, we're just bullshitting about Audacity.
Another fucking 10 minutes of computer programs.
Dude, there was literally like 5 minutes in the one that I did with Maddie that we were just like. Just not talking about a fucking thing. Like, Wyatt texted me. He was like, dude, I'm an hour in, and you guys are drunk as fuck, like, talking about nothing right now. Like, nothing. And I was like, cool,
dude. I felt pretty good and loose. I've been drinking Molson Canadian today.
I had 2 Bud Light Tall Boys and 2 shots of whiskey before I jumped on this.
All right. I was avoiding opening the hard stuff. So I went to Bevmo and was looking for sake. And Gakaiku makes something that's not in a black and gold bottle, but it's like a $5 for almost a liter of sake.
Oh my god, that's probably not good for you, dude.
It's probably like poison, but I that's what I said. I didn't want to fuck my whole day before I was doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So we'll see what happens after the podcast.
My wife and I have been trying to get into sake lately. Like, she asked me, we were at sushi the other day, and she was like, why don't we drink more sake? And I'm like, dude, I don't ever think to buy it. Like, it's super good. Like, I get hammered off of it. Like, I get hammered. I get fucking hammered off of sake. But we never buy it. I'm thinking I'm going to start buying sake.
I've tried
more.
a few more. But you gotta check where it's made though, because my problem is I don't buy Japanese sake. I keep finding shit that's bottled in Berkeley.
Weird.
Like, yeah, this Kakaikan. Let me see.
Is that the one in the
Brewed in
giant
USA
bottle?
according to process originated by Kakaikan sake in Japan. So this was bottled in fucking
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. It's just bottled there. Right?
Folsom. Yeah, this was fucking bottled in Folsom, made and bottled in the.
Do you like
This isn't Japanese sake.
Do you like soju or sake better?
Soju's way too harsh. I like sake way better.
Yeah, I like sake too. Do you like to have it when you're at home and you're drinking sake? Do you have it warm or do you just drink it right out of the fridge, like cold?
I don't ever
room temp.
I don't ever refrigerate it. I'll drink it room temp if I'm just fucking. But if I'm trying to enjoy it, I will actually put it in a thing and heat it up.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I boil water and then turn the water off once it's boiling and just fucking throw it in there and let it sit for a little bit.
Fuck yeah. That sounds dynamite, dude.
I think that's what you're supposed to do is, use just water and then a container.
Uh-huh. Like put the bottle in the boiling water.
Right. Not boiling water, just, the temperature you want it to fucking bring it to.
Weird. I've never done that, but I definitely want to start drinking sake more. All right, well, we talked for 6 minutes about fucking bullshit, so we'll just end this shit like a train wreck.
This is going in? All right.
Yeah, dude, no, it's all in there, dude. We're stopping it now. So, Quinton, thanks for coming on.
Later, everybody. Yeah, it was good meeting
the 5 people that watch. Thanks for listening. If you managed to make it all this way, please just send it to your friends. That's all. You don't have to like. You don't have to subscribe. I'm letting you off the hook for 2 out of 3 things that most people say to do. So all you have to do is just
email
share it.
The front of your credit card and the back of your credit card as a PDF to my email.
Okay, I also need your mother's maiden name and your social security number. You can send that to zanaxosmedia@gmail.com. Just send those social security numbers, baby, because I could use a new identity.
This one's run its course.
This thing, yes, boy, hasn't it. People know my name, but they don't know my last name, so I'm gonna switch identities. Thanks for listening. Next week there will be another episode. Who knows what it's gonna be because I recorded this way before I know what my next episode's gonna be. So, thanks for listening.